of the best parts of Earthbound is its randomness. We've talked about it before. Enemies that don't seem to make sense, towns that make you suspend disbelief, obscure social references, and so on. This week's boss is one of those random Earthbound things. Not only are you still dripping sweat from the last battle, but it seemingly makes no sense. I don't even know how to describe the whole scenario, but I'll try my best. You're about to fight a boss that can insta-kill you and has the highest HP of any foe you've come up against. Oh yeah, and it's dirt with eyeballs. It's Trillion Age Sprout. This boss fight is less than a 2-minute walk from Master Belch. Once you exit into the top level near the hot springs of Mr. Saturn's village, you can instantly enter into the domain of our next sanctuary boss, which seems like an odd thing, right? But then I made the connection while writing the script that I've never really pieced together before. If the bosses are guarding a sanctuary spot, then they are an exaggerated version of the creatures that are nearby. Now, I'm probably not the first one to notice this or piece it together, but it makes sense. Gygas is making animals and people act weird and want to fight, and the sanctuary power is making them mutate. Now, I won't spoil forward things, but looking back, we have a Titanic Ant, which is a mutated black antoid. Mondo Mole is a mutated mole playing rough, and this one is a mutated tough mobile sprout. And the next 5 sanctuary bosses fit the bill as well. Like, it's blowing my mind right now, and I don't know if people knew this already, but to me it's brand new. So if you already knew this tidbit, do me a favor and comment Team Pays Attention down below. And if you are having your mind blown with me, then comment Team New in Town, so I know where we all stand. And back on track. I want to put a small note here. There's a meta cutscene that you can get from the Mr. Saturn who offers you a cup of coffee. You can drink it now or after the boss, though on this most recent run I drank it before the boss. I feel like it's more impactful if you drink it after the Trillion Age Sprout, so it'll be part of the next video. I'm not jumping over it. So, under the nose of Master Belch, there's a powerhouse tucked away into a cave that seems to be creating its own minions. And I say that because one of my favorite named enemies only appears in this one spot. And it needs no introduction because I'm sure we've all already giggled at it before. I am of course talking about the Ranboob. It's dumb looking to say the least and can really turn your team on their heads. But that name, chef's kiss. Since we are on topic of the enemies in that area, let's see what other enemies you'll encounter on this brief trip to Sanctuary 3. There are 3 predominant ones in this area. The Strutting Evil Mushroom, which are of course pains in the butt. Tough Mobile Sprout, which notoriously steal your PP and wreck strategies. And of course our buddies the Ranboob, which always seem to travel in groups of 2 or more. So you've exited the hot spring area and entered the cave to the north. If you're not careful, you'll be immediately ambushed by the enemies. They come hard, they come fast, and they can track you over larger distances than normal. If you are sucked into a battle, luckily, they seem to typically line up in the same row, so PSI Fire is a great way to inflict damage across the board. Make your way through the cave and you'll spill into the valley leading to the boss cave. Again, the enemies are ruthless. Despawn them where you can, but take small steps. They like to ambush you from all sides. Focus on keeping your party alive. Let the battle go as long as it needs. If that means defending and healing, good. You don't want to have to repeat this area. At the end of the valley stretch, you'll enter the Trillion Age Sprout's cave. I'm going on the record as saying this is my favorite of all the caves. The soil and surrounding walls give off this great feel of a lush environment, and the little water spots and mushrooms growing really adds the aesthetic. Right inside, you'll find a Coin of Slumber. Equip it to any of your players. It adds a whopping 30 defensive points. Continue on. I don't really think any enemies spawn in this cave. She should be good. Talk to the boss start thing and begin your battle with Trillion Age Sprout. Trillion Age Sprout is the guardian of the third, your sanctuary location, called the Milky Well. The Trillion Age Sprout is aided in battle by 2 tough mobile sprouts, which can heal the Trillion Age Sprout with life up. This boss is the first enemy encountered by Ness and his friends that can diamondize you, and is one of the very few enemies that can do so. Its name is a contraction of the phrase Trillion Age, in reference to its appearance, a withered sprout that has evidently survived for a relatively long span of time without maturing. The player's guide says this piece of trivia, which is one of my favorite and least favorite trivia I've ever heard. The Trillion Age Sprout is unlikely to be literal, as 1 trillion years is far older than the estimated age of the universe. So thanks for that bit of knowledge. So now let's talk battling. Trillion Age Sprout is immune to paralysis, so you cannot cut it off like Mondo Mole. It doesn't help that it's entirely likely to start this battle being mushroomized due to its high concentration of mushroom enemies throughout the dungeon. If all of your party has a bad case of shrooms, it might be worth it to use your exit mouse and try to escape before losing the fight. Which, by the way, you can use exit mouse to leave a battle. Not sure if I've mentioned that before. If only 1 or 2 of your party is mushroomized, then it shouldn't be too difficult. Just avoid using powerful PSI or bottle rockets with that character. Overall, the battle isn't too difficult as long as you avoid being diamondized, which is up to luck, so Good luck. Fire hits all enemies, so use it to take out the tough mobile sprouts while also dealing large damage to the Trillion Age sprout. It is also a good idea to equip the Great or Travel Charms to avoid being paralyzed. Heal, heal, heal. Every boss can go off the rails, so keep your HP up. That's key. If you follow these steps, you'll have that 1000 HP boss dead in no time. And yes, it does take quite a while to get 1000 HP worth of damage, so be patient. Before we wrap up the video, I want to talk about one controversial thing the player's guide says. It says that the Trillion Age Sprout is the true boss of the zombies, stating that it's the source of all darkness in Threed. This technically isn't the case, as the route in Milky Way is optional, and the player can go to Threed after defeating Master Belch. That's right, this is the second sanctuary in a row that is an optional sanctuary that you don't have to do in sequence. Take all that in and remember that even the player's guide can be wrong. And there you have it, another boss gone with the wind. He may have aged for years and years, but all good things must come to an end. Do you know what else is coming to an end? Yep, this video. But we'll see you next Friday when we make our way through the desert, the big city, and a series of caves to battle a group of giant moles, the Guardian Diggers. Thanks for watching the video. I'm still enjoying making these. But did you know that I also make non-game related videos? This time, I think I'll link an old skit from a few years back on the right. But I'll keep the boss playlist on the left so you can catch up. I'll see you next week, and like always, later days.